Let's talk about something we all do but almost never notice. It's a habit that's so ingrained it's practically invisible. And yet, it has this incredible power to shape our entire reality. I'm talking about complaining. We're going to explore this idea of creating a complaint-free world and how just shifting the words we use can literally change our lives.
So, let's start with a quick gut check. And be honest with yourself. How many times today, just today, have you complained? Maybe it was the traffic or the weather or something your boss said, or even that the Wi-Fi was slow. It's probably way more than you think. And that, right there, is our starting point.
I love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Complaining is exactly like bad breath. We can smell it a mile away on other people, but we're just totally oblivious when it's coming from us. It's this huge blind spot we all seem to have. And look, this isn't just some minor annoyance we're talking about. The book this explainer is based on calls it a poisonous form of expression, an epidemic of ear pollution. It's this constant, low-level static of negativity that seeps into our conversations, our relationships, and even our own minds. Okay, so if it's so bad for us, why do we do it? Like all the time? Well, let's dig into the psychology behind this, because it turns out there are some pretty deep reasons why complaining is our default setting. You know, when you really break it down, complaining is almost never about the actual thing you're complaining about. It's often just a roundabout way of asking for something else. It can be a cry for attention, a way to get some sympathy, or it can just be a raw expression of our own fears and insecurities. When someone complains, they're often just showing you where they hurt. And this brings us to a really, really important distinction. Not every negative statement is actually a complaint. The key difference is this. Are you talking to someone who can fix the problem, or are you just venting to someone who can't? One is focused on the problem, the other is focused on a solution. One seeks sympathy, the other seeks resolution. And Eckhart Tolle really clarifies this. This whole idea isn't about becoming a doormat and just letting people walk all over you. Not at all. It's about being more effective. Instead of complaining, you just stick to the facts and present them to the person who can actually do something about it. Suddenly, you're not complaining anymore. You're problem solving. So we get why we do it. But what's the real damage? What's the hidden cost of all this complaining? Well, the ripple effect of negativity is way bigger than you might think. It starts inside you, but it definitely doesn't end there.
Okay, so think of it like this. Every time you complain out loud, you're not just getting it off your chest. You're actually carving a little negative groove in your brain. Your words reinforce your thoughts. You're basically telling your brain, yep, this is important, let's keep thinking this way. You're locking in that negativity. And that's not all. Those thoughts don't just stay in your head. They travel through your whole body. I mean, doctors have said for years that a huge chunk of our physical ailments start in our minds. When you're constantly focused on what's wrong, you're literally putting your body in a state of dis-ease. And that's not just a clever play on words. What your mind dwells on, your body manifests. Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. There's this idea called entrainment. It's like when you're in a room with a bunch of grandfather clocks. Eventually, their pendulums all start swinging in sync. Well, people do the same thing. We unconsciously sync up with the energy, the vibrations of the people around us. And what does that mean for us? Well, it's those old sayings, right? Like attracts like. Misery loves company. When you complain, you're sending out a certain frequency. And guess what that frequency attracts? More complainers, more situations that give you something to complain about. You literally create a reality that proves your complaints right.
All right, so that's a lot of doom and gloom. I get it. But here's the good news. There is an antidote, a really simple but incredibly powerful prescription. Let's talk about the solution, the 21-day complaint-free challenge.
And here's how it works. It is so simple. You put a bracelet on one wrist. Anytime you catch yourself complaining, gossiping, or criticizing out loud, bam, you have to switch the bracelet to your other wrist, and your count starts over, back to day 0. The goal is to make it 21 consecutive days without ever switching that bracelet. It sounds simple, but man, you'll be shocked at how often you move it at first. So what's the magic behind the number 21? Well, it's all about building new habits, right? The general idea is that it takes about that long to consciously forge a new neural pathway in your brain. You're giving your mind enough time to make not complaining the new normal, the new automatic response. But let's be real. The bracelet is just a tool. It's a reminder. The real work, the heavy lifting, that all happens inside your head. This whole thing is about rewiring your brain's entire approach to life. Because what this whole challenge forces you to do is make this one tiny but absolutely massive mental shift. You stop focusing on what you don't want, which is the very definition of complaining, and instead, you start consciously putting your attention on what you do want, on gratitude, on solutions, on the good stuff.
And this is where it really starts to impact the world around you. You know that famous Gandhi quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world"? Well, this is it in action. If you're tired of hearing other people complain, the only real solution is to stop complaining yourself. You have to become the example. And this idea from Norman Vincent Peale just nails it. Change your thoughts and you change your world. It's not just a nice platitude, it's like a law of physics for your life. Your outer world is just a mirror reflecting your inner world. So if you want to change the reflection, you've got to change what's in front of the mirror first.
And I just love how Maya Angelou brings it all home with this practical, no-nonsense advice. It's about taking radical responsibility. You really only have 3 choices. Change the situation, change your attitude about the situation, or complain. One is empowered, the second is graceful acceptance, and the third is, well, it's completely powerless. The choice is always yours. Okay, so as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final idea. Because this journey, it doesn't just stop with you. When you change yourself, you become a catalyst for change in everyone around you. There's this fantastic Latin motto from the novel Lonesome Dove that I think is just the perfect metaphor for all of this. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's beautiful. It means a grape changes color when it sees another grape. Picture a vineyard, right? You've got this huge bunch of green grapes. But when just one starts to ripen and turn that beautiful purple, it sends out this invisible signal. And that one grape causes all the other grapes around it to start ripening too. That's how change happens. So that's the question I want to leave you with. In your world, your family, your job, your group of friends, what kind of grape are you going to be? Are you going to be the one that spreads bitterness? Or are you going to be the one that starts the ripening? The choice, as always, is yours. Thanks for tuning in.